it's Webs here, and it's time to lock our opponents out with a new mercenary team centered around a brand new mercenary, Captain Galvangar, using his third ability, Frightening Shout, which gives whatever abilities our opponent uses before on the same turn a cooldown of 3, which can actually do quite devastating against most of the meta builds that are floating around right now. Also are using Blink Fox in theory to actually reset the cooldown of Frightening Shout so we can actually lock out our opponent on 2. I managed to pull off this combo once and somehow I lost the footage. I don't know when I deleted it, but I deleted it at some point and I wish I could actually show it off, but sadly I can't, and I haven't been able to replicate it since, but that doesn't really matter because it turns out Blink Fox and Sky Admiral Rogers actually have a really good synergy between their two equipments of 10th Tail and Ship Bell. This allows you to actually choose whatever ability you want to gain off of your opponent if you actually target the correct mercenary and you don't actually kill them off with it. And the fact that you can get one Frightening Shout out is usually enough to disturb your opponent's game plan for quite a while within the game, so you can actually win the game just by messing with your opponent's head through these 3 mercenaries at the starting up lineup of the build. Alright, so the first mercenary we put down with this build is Blink Fox. We're using 10th Tail as his equipment, mainly due to the fact that the other 2 equipments are completely useless. The arcane scaling one, we don't really do arcane damage in this build, so it's useless there. And the mana runes, we don't actually want the second ability to make our third ability on Galvangar as fast as humanly possible, because you won't get the CD incursion on your opponent's mercenaries if it is quicker than theirs, which is why we're actually running Sky Admiral actually in this build, just so we can actually make Galvangar go last. Speaking of Galvangar and the mercenary who actually inspired this build, Captain Galvangar is the second mercenary that we put down. So he's a really interesting mercenary that isn't being played that much right now, even though he does counter some of the current meta builds that people are actually running. Fatal Strike allows you to cancel out some healing that your opponent might be doing. This is really powerful against a nature team where you can just use Fatal Strike to make Malfurion not heal and thus just kill Malfurion pretty quickly within this build. Frightening Shout also makes it where your opponent can't spam the same ability over and over and over again, which is the main reason we're actually running him. I know for equipment, you really kind of have 2 choices in this build. Deafening Howl, which makes your opponent realize what you're going to actually do, or you could also use Fury of the Frostwolf. We have a few attack-based mercenaries in this team, so I prefer the Fury of the Frostwolf just because it's a more rounded equipment within the team. And for leveling up Galvangar, since he is a new mercenary, you don't really ever have to level up Fatal Strike at all, just because of the fact that this only goes up to 8 damage, and it isn't worth the amount of coins that it takes to level him up using this skill. I much prefer leveling up the Frightening Shout first, just because it's a max CD on the ability that your opponent had cast, and then Rendering Cleave is a pretty good ability on its own in any other build that isn't trying to focus down with Frightening Shout, so that's the second thing that I would actually level up when it comes to him. Third mercenary we're actually using is Sky Admiral Rogers. So Rogers is a kind of a weird mercenary just because of the fact most people predicted her to be really good when Diablo was ran in every build, but it turned out if you print a Diablo counter that is a caster, she does nothing. But we're using her mainly to abuse her second equipment, Ship Bell. This makes Captain Galvangar's third ability go last even after it's sped up by Blink Fox, and it also heals Galvangar for a little bit, which allows him to survive so he can actually get 2 out. At least that's the theory behind it. We also are using her in here because she's more synergy with Galvangar, ironically enough, because firing position is more likely to actually go off, and your opponent is forced to use their slowest abilities due to the Galvangar combo, which is actually something that makes it really strong in this build. It's something that I didn't expect while testing it out, but shockingly it is actually really good. Now for the fourth mercenary that I put down, it's Cairne. Cairne's in here mainly because of Diablo. If you're going to run one of them, you usually run the other. The other thing with Cairne is if Blink Fox survives while you have Cairne up, you can sometimes get 2 Earth Stomps back to back, which is actually pretty powerful, or 2 Endurance auras, just depends. Same thing can be said with Diablo. You can actually do a lot with the mana blink duplication because of the fact you do have a lot of high impact skills within your last half of your team. And for the equipment on Cairne, we're using reincarnation, and Diablo is the 5th mercenary that we usually put down, using the equipment of Black Soulstone as his equipment, just because of the fact how strong it is to gain 10 HP without actually healing. And there's nothing that really counters this in the current mercenary game mode, since it doesn't count as healing. So things like Galvangar's can't heal doesn't actually affect this at all. Fire Stomp is the main ability you're going to use here. You technically don't ever have to level this up, and this is useful in some matchups, but it is the second priority, I would say, even the third after Black Soulstone. And finally, the last mercenary we're actually using is Cookie. This should not really need explanation. Appetizers makes Galvangar harder to kill along with all your other mercenaries, and he's a decent, well-rounded mercenary that has some synergy with Diablo, as you can use a Go Fish to make Diablo do even more damage. With that all being said, let's go find some games. Ooh, interesting. Mainly fighters, which makes me think orcs or beasts. If it's actually either of those, I don't think it's really that bad here. Orcs might be a little bit bad. Oh, humans. Did not expect that. Interesting. Well, we're focusing down Jaina. Don't care about healing here. It's actually a really bad matchup if... It's really good if Galvangar gets off his thing at least once. Really bad if it gets it off multiple times. Or not at all. Makes me wonder, Localar, Belinda, who the hell? Havish, maybe? Oh, Illidan. Illidan would be the finisher, I'm assuming. Everything is going to get slower. We're going to focus this down. Everything is going to get a bleed. They're going... Oh, interesting. Sky Admiral is their choice. We trigger that. That's nice. We're going to do that. We're going to heal. I have a feeling that they're still going to try to focus this down. But if we heal... They can't. Oh, we also have Divine Shield, probably. Forgot about that. Did we trigger the immune? Because if we trigger the immune, then that's perfect, but... Ah, they are immune. It just doesn't show me. Okay. That's a little bit frustrating. It's fine. Just a bit frustrating. Or it isn't immune. Okay, Blizzard, I don't know what's going on with your game. Fix it, please. Well then, finally enough, we might actually be able to get full combo off here. I actually kind of did not expect it. Doesn't matter if we get full combo if we can't win, though. There would be a cool... I wish there was a cool little interaction for, like, Death Rattle equipments, too. I know they've been focusing on giving more Battle Cry, which is cool. I really enjoyed that. Eudora with Belinda is probably the next build that I actually want to try out. I am kind of sad that I don't see that many Valiras anymore to make that actually a viable strat. Diablo, okay. We're slowing everything. Slow, that puts everything at 1 off, right? Guess we'll do it like this. 1 off, which is frustrating. I'll put Cairne down. Ah, the sweet irony. The sweet, sweet irony. I know I could do it twice, but oh. You gotta love playing Fox in a situation like this. Oh, you know what's the funny thing? If we had Sky Admiral still up when Diablo went out, we could have forced them to give us Fire Stomp with Blink Eye no matter what. Didn't actually think about that synergy. It's actually kind of funny. Okay, so that kills 2. Gonna freeze. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine, I guess. Okay, so Cairne and Illidan, I'm assuming. Oh, look, I'm right. Okay. That's not gonna live for long enough. We're gonna actually focus that down. And if by some miracle we can actually get this through, I doubt it, but because they're probably going to Fire Stomp, I'd assume. We might actually still win this just because of Diablo being because their Diablo should kill Blink. It might kill Galvangar, but if it does, we can bring out Cookie too. I don't like the fact that they're so buffed up though. It's amazing what Tyrion can actually do. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna still hit that. Diablo's dead, thankfully. That's fine. We got exactly what I wanted. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna focus down is Illidan. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Yeah, we'll do it like this. I guess they could AoE the entire board, which might be a little bit of an issue, but we should be fine. Ah, they're going for Diablo. We have War Stomp. That and that. We should still be quicker. Illidan should be dead, I think. Okay, so we will actually just win. And they do give up. Okay, so mainly casters. Now, with that type of name, makes me wonder if they're actually a bot. I also kind of want to reconsider the positioning here a bit. Yeah, let's try it like this. Doesn't really matter the position, but we'll see. Problem with Galvangar is his HP pool. If there was a way to actually buff it up even further, he'd be even better. I think in a pure orc build, he actually probably has a home just because of the fact of his third ability. But trying to abuse it as much as we are and with a Blink Fox is probably not the actual play. Okay, so we're going to prevent healing on this and just nuke it down. I'm not even... This is actually not a bad lineup here for us. I think they'll probably try to get Galvangar down first, but trying to get Malfurion dead first, then followed by Brute Khan is probably the play to go. Though it could be Jaina as the final caster, which would mean Varden is probably the better bet. I would assume it probably is like a local lore build, technically. Since these two natures are really strong together, so I could see someone just running them with a bunch of frost things. Okay, so that doesn't kill it, but that's fine. They are going to focus down him first. We'll lightning bolt, because that's at 26 damage. Oh, we can try, I guess. Yeah, I don't think this is going to live. That's fine. Let's put Cairne down, I guess. Flurry. So we got Flurry out of that. Actually, 2 slows is pretty nice. Diablo. Okay, so Diablo, Cairne, and they didn't have Cookie, right? Yeah, we can't slow them until next turn. And if they do manage to kill Rogers, that's a-okay with me. We can follow up with our Diablo of our own. Should actually be pretty devastating. I see why fire damage they don't try to scale because of Diablo. Okay, they're actually focusing down Blink Fox, which is fine. We're gonna do a bunch of AoE there. Put Diablo down. They are definitely way slower than us. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna make sure Diablo goes last. Guess that wasn't actually necessary. Kill their entire board, so Cairne should be next. And they give up, okay. Alright, so they mainly have casters. Wonder what build this is going to be. Humans, elementals, ice, frost I mean. Actually most likely going to be frost, thinking about it. Okay, so they are, oh, that's confusing. Huh. What the hell do I actually go for here? You know what? It's... I guess this. I don't... Nature? I guess it technically is. Okay, they're gonna try to kill Blink Fox, which is fine. I'm perfectly fine with Blink Fox dying first. We're gonna do this. Not enough damage, so I don't think there's enough damage for them to kill Galvangar first. This should still kill that first. So Malfurion is probably one of the next ones. Okay, so they're still going for Blink. Okay, Blink's dead, so we can't do full combo. But can put Cairne down. Use the Stomp. Okay, so that's next. And then we'll make them go last. I'm shocked that Galvangar's still alive, but that's not going to live for much longer, I don't feel. But it does demonstrate a great fact with Galvangar here. Okay, so they're going to kill Galvangar. Okay, that's to be expected. We'll put down Diablo. I think we're still quicker. So we're going to do Diablo combo. Sky Admiral, if anything lives. I'm trying to think if there's... Because they're still on CD, I'm pretty sure, with some of their abilities. And we're going to get the Stomp out. And that... That was a misplay. I thought we had enough. Or we were slow enough. Okay, so we're going to do it like this. And then we're going to snipe it with a Master Tactician. This is probably going to heal for a little bit, but we should be able to still do something here. I wonder if they're going to just keep spamming heals on this. I do need to get the Brucon dead pretty quickly, though. If Diablo can survive until we can kill this, then we should be fine. Okay. Okay, Cairne's dead. Cookie will heal, oddly enough. No, he won't. Oh, no, he will. He'll be quicker. And then I'm gonna attack the Brucon, I guess. That'll heal. And we'll destroy the Brucon. We're not in the best position right now. Not in the worst either, but Guff, I guess, could be an orange, blue. Cookie. Guff, okay. So, let's do that. Oh, it's gonna be too slow. So, let's do it like this. I want to minimize the amount of damage that they'll be able to put out each turn, so that was slower. Times like this is when I wish I didn't fully upgrade that. We're gonna try to kill the Sunfish before Diablo dies. Let's see. If they actually focus down Diablo, we'd be screwed. That's an interesting, like... Why would you do it like that? I'm not gonna question it. This should finish this off. Then if we can get Cookie... Maybe I should go for Guff before Cookie. But Cookie's lower at this point. Okay, so we get that. Put down a fish. We'll just... I would target the fish, to be honest here. Yeah, that's... Oh, we actually did. Okay. That actually saved us. Okay, so we do this. We do that. Then we don't attack with that. And hope that we're quicker, and we're not. Should have went after Cookie. Then we'll do it like this. They'll probably put a fish down. That would be what I would do. Okay, so Cookie's probably going to be dead. Not enough. Well, I guess Diablo killing Guff, and then... Actually, we should win from here. Because even if we live, or let the fish live for a little bit... Because they have no type of AoE here. We'll kill Guff. That leaves Cookie and the fish up. And then we'll stop and we win. Now that we're through some games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the build. So when I was originally testing this, the build actually did not do that well. That was like a week or two ago before a lot of people had some of the newer mercenaries leveled up. So the meta has actually shifted a little bit since then to a meta more spamming one ability over and over again, which means Captain Galvangar has actually went up in playability. I don't think this is the best build for him, but this build does demonstrate the powerful potential of Captain Galvangar. Even getting one frightening shout out is powerful enough to disturb your opponent's game plan for a long period of time and can actually make you win the game. Most people won't be able to know what to do against a frightening shout if they do get hit once. So usually you do manage to get one out, though once they do realize what you are doing, Galvangar dies almost instantly afterwards. It's just because of the fact that he has such a huge target on his back. And I think a pure orc team would be a better composition for him to actually be in. Though this build does have a really funny high ceiling. Games usually go one of two ways, where your opponent focuses down Galvangar first and he instantly dies before he can get a second shout off, or they focus down either Blinkfox or Rogers for some strange reason and you can actually manage to get multiple frightening shouts out, and that actually usually just wins you the game no matter what in that position. Either way, it actually allows you to have an easier Diablo turn whenever you do get Diablo down, because by the time you actually have Diablo down, usually your opponent is still on cooldown with their main ability, which means they're still going to have to use some high cost abilities, and some of those high cost abilities actually have a cooldown themselves, so you might actually just be facing against an opponent that can't actually do anything against you, which was the idea behind the build in the first place anyways. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, bye bye.